Welcome to Key Conversations. My name is CJ Norman.
And I'm Katy Norman. We're a husband and wife real estate team, and this podcast is meant to feel like you're listening in on a conversation between friends.
Each week, we share real stories, simple frameworks, and honest advice we'd give our own family. Whether you're thinking of buying, selling, downsizing, or just trying to make smart choices with the home you're living in, we're here to help.
No pressure.
No fluff.
Just clear guidance you can actually use.
Can I get a drum roll? Welcome to the first ever episode of Key Conversations. I'm your host, CJ Norman, and joining me is Katy Norman here, and welcome. Is that how you're supposed to start a podcast? Anyways,
why are you talking to the mic, Rick?
I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I am CJ Norman, and
obviously I'm Katy Norman.
And together we make up Norman Homes, which is a husband and wife real estate team that is at the brokerage Pemberton Real Estate.
Yeah, we like to be cutting edge. Interestingly enough, I actually have a TV news background. So social media, video content, all this kind of stuff is something that I'm really interested in. So I've always wanted to do something like this. So I'm excited that
You're in your element.
Finally starting to make this like dream and vision come to life of, putting actual content out there that's like this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like today video is kind of king. It's just kind of like all the experts are like, if you're not on video, you're invisible. And we've been working on our online presence for, at least like the last 2 months. We should have been doing it for years, but, like any business owner, getting caught up in actually what we're doing day to day kind of falls to the wayside. But, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's been a good time to focus in on it. And yeah, it's been your goal and it's been my goal to kind of get our faces out there. So we're, ranking and showing up for other people that are looking for good agents like ourselves.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I thought that we could start by just talking a little bit about what is Norman Homes, why, how did we get into real estate, just a little bit of background on us and what it is that we do.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Sounds good. Why don't you start?
Oh, gosh. So, I guess Norman Homes overall, like CJ said, we're a husband and wife team. I think one of the unique aspects of that is obviously you get a little bit of a 2-for-1. We have, we're specialists in a lot of the same areas, but at the same time we bring a little bit of different flavor. We're different people, so we bring a little bit of different flavor to things. I think that, I am very, when it comes to work, maybe not in my home life, but when it comes to work, I'm a very type A, I'm probably type A all the time, aren't I?
Yeah, kind of.
So I'm a very type A person.
When we have Excel sheets for vacations, I think that's kind of your answer.
Yeah, I do. I do that, don't I?
Yeah. Switzerland was fun, though.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Very
well organized.
I created a whole guide on that of, in Canva of where the Airbnb we were staying, what the code to get into, what trains we were supposed to take, I outlined every day.
Oh, and I'm also a type B person. So that is pure stress and anxiety for me. But, if I just let it go and let Katy just take the reins on stuff like that, I had an amazing time. Yeah. We saw so many things.
So that was great.
Anyways, I digress. We digressed.
Obviously, there are different types of clients out there. There are different people that want different things. Some people, I overwhelm you with my travel plans and how I organize everything, and vice versa. I would be so stressed out if you're just let's just go.
Let's see what happens.
But there are different types of people out there, too, that want different types of, different types of help and support along the way. Now, when it comes to work, we're both very detail-oriented, right, and we can both help, people through this process in a lot of different ways. But
we can operate as a type B or a type A or the non-preferred side naturally. When it comes to clients that are type A, I have an easy time adapting to what they need. And vice versa, when somebody is kind of just I don't need all the details and I don't need to go over all the documents before we actually write an offer, you're like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah. We'll go at your pace.
And then some people want to be walked through every line, what does it say? Like, how do I do this? Why would I do A instead of B? All those kind of things. And I can, either of us can help them do that. But we just, like naturally are gifted in different ways, I think is maybe a good way to put it. But on top of that, we have the support from each other. So if somebody is gravitating towards a different style of working, they can generally gravitate towards working with the other person, which is totally fine.
Yeah, like we have a really good lender relationship with Wings, and there was a couple times recently where it's like, okay, well, this person is going to need an agent, and a conversation with us. We're married, so it doesn't really matter who it goes to, but like the most recent one, it was this person, is very nervous with this whole process. I mean, it is a large investment. For most people, it's the largest investment they'll ever make. So it was just kind of like, all right, if I had to choose, I think Katy should probably take that one. Katy has all the details just ready to go, for that kind of personality. So we kind of have that freedom to choose, what is the better fit.
Right. And then sometimes there's the investor that just wants to I don't care how you do it, how fast, I just need to know the high level details, and I want to know that it's going to sell fast, and I want to know that I don't have to be involved in it. Like, you might be a little bit better personality type for that kind of that kind of client. So, I guess additionally, we have this whole background of support staff that people may not realize. A lot of people will ask us about, what is Norman Homes? What is Pemberton Real Estate? What is the brokerage? Are you your own business? All that kind of stuff. And interestingly enough, people don't, I feel like, realize that.
They don't really understand it.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to explain. I recently explained it to somebody kind of like it was a franchise.
Yeah. No, who was that?
I think you were around when I explained
No,
this.
I was like, that's a great way for a regular person to understand how real estate agents are employed and self-employed and vice versa. Why don't you go through it like as simply as you did? Because that person was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah, so we have some really great friends. One of my old roommates from after college, and my maid of honor. I was her matron of honor. Her and her husband own several Great Clips, a decent amount of Great Clips franchises locations.
31.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's something like that. But essentially, Great Clips is obviously a big company, but Great Clips creates this structure for what each franchise location looks like. And so they have, brand regulations and things like that, but they give them kind of a blueprint of here's how to run a successful Great Clips. And then they give them some support and things like that. Pemberton Real Estate is kind of like that for us, or whatever brokerage any realtor is at is kind of like that. They're just the behind the scenes stuff for our real estate business. Now, obviously in the Great Clips analogy, they own all of these different franchises. They buy the buildings, they hire the employees, so it is all on them. So at Norman Homes, it's kind of the same thing. It's we are, most realtors, not every single realtor, but most realtors are 1099 employees. We don't have a W-2 paycheck, which essentially means that we're our own independent business owners. Mm-hmm. At least in Minnesota, you need to hold your license with brokerage. So Pemberton Real Estate, in our case, is that brokerage.
Right.
Kind of like in my friend's case, they could own any hair salon and they could start a bunch of hair salons, but they choose to have Great Clips salons. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of high level what that looks like. Through Pemberton Real Estate, we get a lot of support. So we have videographers, photographers, we have listing coordination, we have transaction coordinators. And so essentially for people that don't, for the average person that doesn't understand how real estate works in the background or all of those kind of things, it's essentially just, we've got a lot of support staff to help take your transaction from start to finish so that, we don't always need to be the expert on, we're the expert on real estate, but we've got somebody watching your transaction every step of the way to make sure that things aren't missed layers. and that we're operating at the highest level that we possibly can.
Yeah.
We're also getting tools and resources that I think are really cool and really helpful.
And connections with new clients. that's a huge driver for a lot of agents joining certain teams, brokerages, et cetera, is how plugged in are they? How is the reputation with players like Realtor.com or Zillow, or some local bank partnerships, right? Like when you got your start at a different brokerage, they had this relationship with Wings, and I think there's maybe a couple other banks.
Yeah, it was part of like a credit union.
Right. Yeah, just like the Twin Cities credit unions. But yeah, essentially the people, which are amazing clients, that instead of going to a real estate agent or Zillow to request a tour, they first go talk to their bank and say, hey, I'm super type A and I've got my stuff together and I need to know. Yeah, I know. I mean, they always are just like super clean. But they get their pre-approval first and they're like, I don't have an agent. And in those partnerships and with Zillow and all that, it's like, okay, well, we have our partners that are brokerages. We're going to send you to one of our trusted partners. And you just so happen to be on the receiving end of that with that other brokerage. And yeah, I mean, it's huge. And that was probably a huge driver for a lot of people being a part of that brokerage. Now, at Pemberton Real Estate, we're plugged in to be like one of the top trusted recipients and partners with Zillow in our area. And that's great because Zillow is unavoidable. If you are looking for a home, you're on Zillow. I mean, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's that too.
Absolutely. I know, something interesting that I think that you brought up is like what you're getting from the brokerage is, I think it would be helpful to kind of take a step back and talk about like what our real estate journey has looked like a little bit, because we do not have this straightforward, typical real estate journey. And I think that
I don't even know what would be. But
gosh.
Yeah, you're right. We don't.
I mean, maybe it would be something like, I got my real estate license, I joined a brokerage, I sell some houses, and I stayed at that brokerage, or I switched brokerages once.
Actually, I think probably the majority would be just because of the stats, like just pure data of like how people drop off within. I mean, if you make it past year 5, you're good for like life. But even in like year 1, 2, 3, it just gets like the percentages of agents that become licensed that drop off those years is crazy, which tells me I've watched some TV and this is super easy, walking in homes and making $5 billion a year. I could do that. And then people realize it's not like that.
Yeah, but, no, it's not like that at
all. So I would assume there's probably a little bit of a gap there with like expectations and reality. But yeah, let's talk about our journey, which was oddly the same kind of ish.
Yeah, so I guess going way, way back, I come from a real estate investing family. So my dad owns a bunch of like apartment buildings and things like that. So he rents to tenants. So I kind of grew up occasionally walking into property, a toilet gets clogged or somebody set a house on fire, like one of the properties on fire, and we got to get it cleaned up. Like those kind of scenarios, I would walk into those with my dad when he had to go do something occasionally. And that was kind of the world that I grew up in.
Okay, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that. Well, I don't know that Robert Kiyosaki's life was glamorous either, but yeah, it just like, it was really interesting for me to see what real estate investing could do for my dad's family, and kind of what that looked like. And it got me really interested in real estate in general. And so I started investing in real estate. Then we met. I know you were interested in investing in real estate too. And honestly, when we got our real estate licenses, we got them around the same time. Real estate is a 100% commission job, so you have no promise of a paycheck. I even put that in our vows that we did that we decided to take this crazy leap of faith and at and around the same time just quit our jobs and start being realtors.
Side note about that, anything from like the wedding like itself, I was so nervous that I like blacked out everything. So watching it back on video, I'm like, oh yeah, you did say that in the vows. Did I actually talk? Because I was really nervous.
Yeah, no, you absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
You absolutely talked.
I crushed it.
Yeah, you crushed it. It was great. But I mentioned that we like left our jobs with no promise for a paycheck to go into real estate, and I would, first of all, I'd never look back, but the real kicker for me was you hated your job at the time, honestly. Like, let's just be real. You hated your job and you're like, I think I'm going to do real estate. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about doing real estate and selling real estate for forever. And we were both in sales jobs, so we had this background. So it was just a natural progression to jump into some other sales role but selling something that we actually cared about and were passionate about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, if I watch you get your real estate license and sell houses, I am going to be so jealous. I can't do it. Like I thought it would be detrimental to our relationship, honestly.
Yeah, this is well before we were married, and yeah, I remember that day you had come over, and I was like, yeah, and you're like, what have you been up to? And I'm like, well, I today just bought all the coursework to get my real estate license, and you were mad at me. You were like, absolutely not doing that alone.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, if you're doing this, I'm going to be so jealous. Like, I can't just sit on the sidelines and just watch you sell houses
and make
while
$5 million a year.
Yeah, right. Because that's exactly
that's how it works.
Right.
Selling Sunset. Haven't you seen? Yeah.
Owning Manhattan, all the big Netflix TV shows. Yeah, no, it's totally that easy. I guess, side note on that, all those like commissions and things that they list of like, oh, they're making $250,000 on this one commit. It's like, that agent is not making $250,000 on that one commission.
No.
Like half of it's going to the brokerage or something. You never know how that's all broken down because there's fees and
the average agent on an 80-20 split.
Okay.
So I actually created a guide on this. If you look in the description below and click on the link, you'll find it.
Well, we got to make sure that
I know.
That
so I
gets
actually I did like do some research and everything, just on like a general average of stuff.
Right.
The average agent making an 80-20 split. First off, you don't get taxes taken out before you receive your funds, right?
Well, yeah, that's one thing.
The average agent not on like a team provided lead or client is essentially taking home around 50 to 60% of what that check says.
Yeah, so when you see $250,000, I mean, okay, a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, $250,000. It's like, well, they're still making, over $100,000 on this transaction on the Selling Sunset shows. We are not making that in Minnesota on the average home sale price in Minnesota. But like the cost of living's higher. They're living in like a whole different world. Honestly, also those people are making a lot of money from Netflix. They're not like being on a TV show, like not even selling the houses. So whole different ballgame. Anyways, where was I?
I
totally lost myself.
We were talking about real estate.
I was gonna be really jealous if I watched you get your real estate license and didn't go get my real estate license too, because in previous jobs this is how I knew I was entrepreneurial and an entrepreneur. I would sit at my cubicle or desk or computer, wherever it was, and I would, in between making phone calls for my sales job, don't tell my former bosses, I would just be looking at houses, and I would be looking at like the next investment that I could buy. And it's like, I was constantly thinking about real estate, and honestly, at the time, I was never making enough money to be able to invest in another property at all. So I was like, I don't know how to get here, but I really want to get here. So I hired a business coach, like a Tony Robbins business coach, which are not cheap, to help me figure out like how to up my game and to go from step A to B. Because even at the time, I was like, I don't even know how I could afford the real estate license, which now looking back is just laughable. But we had a garage sale.
Yeah.
To be able to pay for my real estate
Nothing
school.
says rock bottom than somebody holding up your old sweater and saying, would you take 50 cents?
Well, I mean,
it wasn't rock bottom. It was a good origin.
I sold like a Coach purse, and I mean, at a garage sale, so it was like $10, but
yeah.
So like I did not get what I should have gotten for it.
Same thing. Yeah, but no, it wasn't a rock bottom. It was just a really good,
creative solution to figure out how to pay for this, so I didn't feel super, super strapped.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But anyways, we both joined different brokerages. You joined, like...
Why don't I pause you there? Because I need to talk about my beginning in real estate, too. Okay. So there it was. It was a bright, sunny day. And no, I'm just kidding. So there's this dichotomy of, like, thinking about doing stuff and actually doing it. And, like, I don't know. You see that publicized for, just taking action in life. I had been thinking about being a real estate agent even before that, being an investor, right? Since I was 19 years old, I knew I wanted to have at least a duplex so that I could rent half of it out and receive money. I thought that was genius, and I was like, why isn't everyone doing that? And then I got older, and I didn't go into real estate because, like you were kind of talking about, I didn't have enough garage sales to fund it. And when you get into a commission only thing, like right out of college, that would have been impossible. Like, how would I have been able to afford rent, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be able to go like 6 months without a dime, at least. So I just kind of put that always in the back burner. But the idea of investing in a duplex specifically, since I was 19, never died. Wondering why doesn't everyone do this? Then I got older and I realized, why isn't everyone doing this? So I met you, and you were doing this. And speaking of the jealousy, we have a little bit of like friendly competition between us in our marriage, which is cool. It's definitely good for, driving forward.
It's a healthy amount of.
Yeah.
It's not like.
Yeah.
Like, I hate your guts.
No. Well, I hope not.
No. You can't
anyways,
do that without me.
You're already living that. And I've been thinking about that for so long. And so I just, I had a decent amount of knowledge, and I asked you like how you did it, and then I kind of just took that step, and while we were together, and that was great. And then we both had duplexes, which were 0.45 miles away from each other, and so achieved that. And then like you said, I guess I'll kind of back up too. Like, I did not come from a family of real estate investors. My dad, however, started a business the year I was born. He's a graphic design artist, and he had a very successful small business. And so maybe that's... Yeah, right.
He still has the very successful small business.
He had a successful business, and it's become even more successful.
Right.
So, speaking in past tense, but we're still very successful. Anyways, but I did, get a lot from those early days, talking to him about the business and just kind of watching him, honestly, just monkey see, monkey do. Watching it just became a part of me, right? And I realized that I don't really want to work for somebody else, and I want to work for myself. So that's before even thinking about real estate. And then kind of catching back up to today, it's like, it was a choice I made, very unhappy with the boss I had at the time, which the job was fine, but, a boss can really ruin your life. And I mean, just like emotionally, right? You're just miserable, and it's like, why am I waking up to do something that I hate, not to be appreciated? And other people's unhappiness can be transferred to you in, a typical working environment. So decided to take that leap, and you did as well. And we did our coursework side by side, and that was fun. And then we got licensed like right before we went on vacation that summer. And we haven't looked back. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the stats are. We're going to have to look these up. But it's like, it's a staggering amount of people that fail out in these years.
I think it's like 80 or 90% by year 5.
I think it is.
Something like that. Something stupid. Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are one of the few to have obviously made it past that point. And not even just make it past that point, but thrive past that point. Like, we've been able to invest in more properties since then. We've been able to take some big risks and try to do some things that most people and most realtors don't do. I feel like a lot of people are, nothing against the people that do this, everybody's different in how they operate, but some people are trying to, like, just do the real estate thing where they're just a salesperson chasing the next deal over and over and over again. And we have really tried to build business and process and things that have become very successful. And I think that our clients see that when they work with us. We
actually tried our hand at starting our own brokerage, and
oh my gosh, absolute nightmare. And here, like, there's nothing wrong with starting your own brokerage. Obviously, Parker Pemberton started his own brokerage.
He's well equipped to do so. We were not.
Well, we were in a point in our business where we were like, we put the cart before the horse on that one. Like there was a succession of like, you should do A and then B. And then we also in the process realized that we didn't want to grow large brokerage.
Yeah.
We also didn't want the liability that comes with brokerage. There's a lot of things that come with owning a brokerage that we did not want to take on. We were paying for. So one of the things that we're getting from Pemberton Real Estate that is impacting our clients and helping them is all the tools and technology. So our CRMs that help us stay up to date and organized with everything, the access to other softwares like Fellow or like
Our CRM.
Cloud
follow-up
CMA
ones.
or
Right, presentations to, people that are wanting to list their home.
Yep. So there's a
All that
lot
stuff.
we used to, as owning a small brokerage, we were paying for all of those softwares totally out of pocket. And when you're paying for them personally, rather than paying for them as part of a collective group, they're substantially more expensive. And so it was just eating into all of our profits. And we were spending so much time managing the brokerage and implementing softwares and onboarding with things that it was taking away from our focus on clients.
Right.
And we were doing plenty fine with our focus on clients. I don't think that, none of our clients felt neglected by any means.
No.
We were not doing that. But
I took on half of what I normally would though.
right.
And that, so it's
And it didn't allow us to go out and chase more.
no, I didn't have time to.
So which is what we love. We love the satisfaction of building relationships with people and helping them in their journey. And there's just something so special about, client walks into their brand new home and the feeling of the newness and the excitement of the memories that they're going to build.
Right.
There's also something really special about
The bittersweetness.
the bittersweetness.
Of selling.
Yeah, we have some clients that are moving their mom's stuff out of their place, and it's they're walking us through and telling us all these memories and sharing photographs of family photos and
From 60 years ago when they were kids,
and those things
Wild.
just pull at my heartstrings, and it makes me feel so honored to be a part of these people's journeys. And that is what I love. It's about the people. It's not about it's not about all the softwares and the managing the little things. Obviously, the systems and processes that we work with in our process of the home buying and selling process, love those because they're just about optimizing that experience so that our clients feel really seen and heard and helped.
You're saying your why is the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I really think there's, everything to that. It's you're becoming a part of people's core memories in their life.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, it is likely for the average person the largest financial move that they're ever going to make.
Yeah.
If they move twice, then there's two of those in their life, right? So naturally, they're going to have a memory attached to it, and we try to make that a very shiny, awesome, happy memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also just to be gentle and empathetic and supportive. I always tell people that, I'm not just a realtor in this. I'm kind of a coach and a therapist and a friend and I can be a shoulder to cry on if you need it.
Yeah, just like I tell ChatGPT, be human first. When communicating with me, pretend you're a human. Stop talking like a bot.
Oh my gosh. That's a separate thing that we should get to, the ChatGPT stuff.
We can do that other episode.
Yeah, well, we can go into depth into all the AI stuff, but I do want to hit on it slightly. So one thing that I want to get to before I think we wrap up is kind of where we're at now. So we live in the far western suburbs. We live in Mound, Minnesota. It's on the far west side of Lake Minnetonka, if you aren't familiar with Mound. We cover the whole Twin Cities metro as far as our real estate goes, but we really obviously, because our home is in the West Metro,
we've been thinking a lot, we've taken this time, like I said, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where it's just historically kind of slower. We're still working with clients right now, but it's not like spring, right? So it's when do we get to work on the business more? And this is a perfect time to do it. So lately, talking about wanting to be more prevalent online and standing out, it's okay, well, we need to kind of focus in what are the areas that we service as our core? What is our niche? Who do we service? Obviously, yes, we do it all, but so does, all agents. And like, what are we going to be specifically known for? Like when we create an ad, what is it going to say, right? So that's kind of the school of thought that we've been up to lately.
Yeah. So we've been working on like our online presence, like what we niche into, all those kind of things. And, we've done it all because we mentioned that we were both investors. Now we're investors together because we're married. Mm-hmm. But we have long-term properties. We have short-term rental properties. So we've got Airbnbs, VRB, it's on Airbnb and VRBO. Mm-hmm. We've done flips. We've wholesaled. We've done the cash offers, and we can do all of these things. And I guess small little side tangent, if you haven't realized, I like to go on these side tangents a little bit, but like
it's great.
The whole cash offer thing, like if
you're looking to plug cash offers right now.
No, I'm actually not plugging cash offers.
If you're looking cash offer,
if you are looking for a cash offer, we will give you a cash offer. But
it's not going to be what you think, though.
That's my whole point. Is when we were doing these cash offer deals, we get a lot of people, downsizers specifically, that are like, oh, well, we've got lots of equity in our home. We just want to like sell it and get rid of it. And you can absolutely do that, but like please be careful, because most of the people giving you a cash offer do not have a fiduciary duty to you sometimes. They do not have your best interest at heart. So you want to make sure that you're getting really, really, really good advice. One of my favorite stories and one of the best clients, like one of my favorite clients that I worked with, came to me because they were getting a cash offer.
Oh, is this in Richfield?
It called me up, answered the phone out of nowhere, like just a cold call. And it was a great success. We talked about all their different options of like, here's your cash offer. Here's what you could get if you sell it as is. Here, if you put $20,000-$30,000 into it, here's what you could get if you, if you do the work. And we talked about all the pros and cons and the risks associated with all those, and we laid them all out. And obviously the cash offer was not their best option in order to like actually meet their goals. But they were about to take one, and we
from
ended
somebody
up
else?
Yeah, and we ended up netting them, tens of thousands of dollars more in the sale.
So much so,
of that.
didn't you get like recognized in like the Richfield, Minnesota, like Journal of Excellence or whatever it's called? There's an article, I remember that.
I don't know for fact that those two things are linked, but I would assume that they are.
Yeah,
because
it's not like we do a ton
I would
of
assume that they
Richfield,
are, because it was just really sweet. If it was them that wrote in to recognize me, it was very sweet, because it was clearly a nomination from somebody. So,
yeah, it's cool.
So the side story. So I guess what I'm saying is we've done everything, but what we really like to focus on, and like what we are honing in a little bit more on as our business evolves, is we'll still cover everywhere. We'll still help home buyers. We'll still help home sellers. We'll still help investors. We really like working in, obviously, the West Metro area. That could be as far out as like Waconia, Delano,
I think I said
Carver.
a pretty good like visual.
Yeah.
It's like if you were to take Minneapolis and just on the map, like zoom out, and you're going to draw a triangle. Minneapolis, go straight to Delano, go straight down to Waconia, and then back to Minneapolis. Like that Western Metro is like our core.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot in like the Carver, Chaska,
Sure,
Chanhassen,
like a little
Maple
outside,
Grove,
but
yeah. So
generally speaking, for like somebody to like understand.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I think we could talk about this stuff for multiple days on end. Like, and we should, but we should break it up into multiple episodes too.
Yeah, I'm just excited that we're actually doing this, first of all, because it's just excited to get started and to get this word out there of who we are, and so people get to know us better, because I feel like you said, video is king, but...
Or queen.
Or queen.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I love about video so much is I feel like when people see us through video and then they come to us afterwards, it's like you already know us, you already trust us, you already know who you're going to be working with, and that can be a scary thing if you're trusting somebody with your biggest investment and you know nothing about them, and then you got to sign some agreement to work with somebody that you don't really know. And so this is our opportunity to hopefully get to know you. Obviously, we welcome everyone to reach out to us at any point in time. We're happy to answer any questions. We're always just a phone call or a text message away. So yeah, I mean, we're just excited to put out who we are to everyone out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this would be a perfect time for the outro music to play.
I guess before we do that, we should probably tell you about our socials. You can find us on Instagram at norman.homes.
Honestly, the easiest way to do it is whatever platform you're looking to find us on, just type in Norman Homes on that platform.
Yeah.
You're going to find us.
Obviously, our website has all of our social handles. So at norman-homes.com. That's homes plural. And we'll link it below. Obviously, click subscribe, all the good stuff that you're supposed to do when you follow. I don't know. We're figuring this out.
We're just getting off of our favorite YouTubers and what they say.
Yeah.
So make sure to smash the likes, guys. Click and hit subscribe, and I don't know. All right, see ya.
Yeah, we'll have this more figured out next time.
Okay. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
We'd love it if you'd share this with someone who'd be interested, and don't hesitate to reach out if you want to connect. We're always happy to chat. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time.